Mm. Ah. Good day, Muggles. Welcome one, welcome all. Sorry I missed my live stream yesterday. It's been a big week. Um, I had like a few jobs, a lot of homework to do, finals and shit coming up, and I was recently hired for the first time as a department head. Um, so I was like literally building a platform so these soldiers can have free speech because it was a military rock band singing Christmas jingles. That was like their whole thing to do it like every year. You know, they had Joy to the World, Let There Be Peace on Earth, a bunch of songs that the military is literally funding the opposite of everything they were talking about. However, I don't blame them. We're run by criminals. Um, so but you know, it's important. I think everybody who joins the military should be doing what I did this weekend, and that is building a platform for free speech, not shutting it down. Um, there are a lot of people who are guiding the military in all the wrong directions. Someone running for president getting all kinds of accolades from the news media, just a huge war criminal, violent, just evil, propaganda disseminating ass mother father of a just war criminal. Like we're talking about people just like who should be in the Hague. So this is Nikki Haley. She is in charge, or she's in front of this whole movement to make people have to show ID for accessing internet pages, being able to leave a comment, public comment. They want your info. So if you say something that displeases her bosses, her funders, they can go after you. Um, they do not want any anonymity because they want to be able to squash any and all dissent. So this is her. She was talking about how TikTok, watching 30 minutes of TikTok, and I have my issues with TikTok. Fuck TikTok. They censored me more than YouTube. But they didn't take down my channel. They just recently took down Glenn Greenwald's channel, and he was the one who made me aware of Rumble. So, yeah, TikTok, they took down more of my videos than YouTube, but for me, it was like YouTube had a three strikes and you're out policy. So I leave three videos within like I think it's a 3 month window that they take issue with. They don't even have to be new videos. They could just all of a sudden decide, we don't want that information getting out because it's gonna like make our donors look bad. Like the fact that if you say you got an old ass video um, talking about like the opiate epidemic and all these medical companies, these pharmaceutical companies that are responsible for it, having to pay criminal fines, literally criminal institutions. You point that shit out hella years ago, and then there's a bad cold going around, and they want to mandate their vaccine for it, which doesn't help, and you call that shit out like years ago that they're evil. You don't even have to like make an updated video. They'll take down your other stuff. I had videos on my first channel, my picks, um, that got my channel shut down. I hadn't posted there in almost a decade, and all of a sudden it just randomly just got shut down. But this is when I was getting every other channel, major channel shut down. Anything with over 10,000 viewers on YouTube was taken down. So good times. But yeah, this is the reason why there's so much censoring on the internet is because people like Nikki Haley are politicians, and let's just hear what this dumb baloney pusher has to say. So let's hear it.
The president of Harvard were asked whether calling for the genocide of the Jews would violate school policies against harassment and intimidation. All of them said it would depend on the context, including whether that speech veers into conduct. How do you think these schools and the rest of society should balance the imperative of free speech against the need to prevent radical activists from harassing and intimidating others?
It was disgusting to see what happened. You know, if this had been the KKK that was doing protests on those campuses, every one of those college presidents would have been up in arms. This is just as bad. The idea that they
All right, if this was the KKK, people would have been up in arms. If the KKK all of a sudden came out and they were like, we need to liberate those damn brown people from being slaughtered recklessly, not even recklessly, from being slaughtered indiscriminately. The KKK came out and just was like, we support the brown people being able to not have their land taken from them, not being tortured, not being put and forced into a prison all their lives. If they came out in support of the Palestinians, I would not be mad. I'd be like, the KKK is maybe that's why Joe Biden hung out with so many Klan members, because they were pro-Palestinian. Obviously, that is not the case. That's why he's fully support of a genocide. So yeah, this she likes to turn logic on its head and make it seem like it's calling for a ceasefire, calling for people to stop being murdered is a bad thing. So it is pretty frustrating. Um, yeah, so it's just like I wonder who's falling for it. Seeing the millions of people coming out in support of Palestine lets me know that it's fewer and fewer people, you know. Um, yeah, so let's just finish this silly shit up.
allow that kind of pro-Hamas protest or
Pro
the
Hamas.
different kind of dudes and say that they needed context on that, there is no context to that. This is what we need to do to deal with it. First of all, we have got to get foreign money out of our universities. You've got Arab money, you've got Chinese money, you've got other
Arab money, Chinese money, just get foreign money. No. How about we get these crooked ass corporations? A lot of them are domestic. Don't just like mention like a bunch of colored people and just say, oh, their money's coming. Like that's what makes me afraid. You know what I fear more? Corporations that are funding this bi. I don't even want to say it out loud. I really can't just say everything because I will be putting on a list because people like her are in control of so much right now and her donors. But yeah, I fear her side of of the globe, which is like corporate side. You know, that 1%. That's the only minority I call out regularly. That's the only minority that is running around unchecked, um, buying up politicians like it's nothing. Got this evil trick, just willing to sell out the American people. Um, then the same corporations like they fund the news that make us hate the people who she's talking about, Arabs, Chinese people. Just like, well, why the fuck we get what they do to me? They the ones poisoning our water? Or are they the ones like signing these crime bills like Joe Biden, locking up millions of people, getting them killed for nothing? They choking us out? No, it's her and her system. And it's just all that corporate money that she's awash in. Um, so it's just like, it's disgusting to hear her just like fearmonger all these colored people. Because I hear she's colored herself, but you wouldn't be able to tell I mean, maybe she got that Michael Jackson treatment, but her disposition, I mean, you know, I've long said that we switched from white supremacy to corporate supremacy a while ago. That requires a lot of people like her who may not be Caucasian. They don't descend from the Caucasus Mountains. But you know they take on that they acquiesce to white supremacy or just corporate supremacy, and then we got a few figureheads at top, but it's really like the same poisonous ideology, same evil intention, same evil outcomes we arrive at, It's just we got a colorful leader, and that's supposed to make us feel better. And yeah, I know it's not like, oh, we need a woman. We need a woman of color and power. Just we don't need these corporations running roughshod over us. And she is, yeah, a good example of yeah what I'm talking about. Cause yeah, she like you hear her fearmonger. Listen to all the people she talks about. Doesn't mention BlackRock. You know, she should probably mention black people before BlackRock. No Vanguard. None of the hedge fund managers controlling our country and the world at large. You know, because yeah, she's a part of the smoke show. One of the puppets.
We need to go to every university and say you either take foreign money or you take American money, but the days of taking both are over. The second thing we need to do, is Biden made a mistake.
No, we need to say no corporation can get any government subsidies. Matter of fact, y'all got to pay it back. You've been robbing us, taking all this welfare. All the people running this shit got more money than they could ever spend, and then we got record homelessness. We got all these issues with the water, with the soil. Food is poison. It's like y'all are doing this shit by design. So we're not going to fund you anymore. How about that? Why is she not requesting that? You take that foreign money, you can't take our money. No, just stop taking our money. These if you're that dependent on government subsidies, then you should be worker owned. We should only fund worker owned everything. Why the fuck are we giving any money to her donors? They're just using a small fraction of that, paying crooked people like this, and you're like, oh, it's a woman of color. She's saying it, so it must be true. No, it's a woman of evil intention, uh, um, pushing our world to the brink of war, poisoning us, starving people out, depriving us of housing. It's that we have an overabundance of housing. We got more houses than homeless people. But the only time they take homeless people off the street is when the president of China comes to town. And when they do, we don't know what the fuck they're doing with the homeless people. They're off the street. They could be getting tortured. They could have sent them to Guantanamo. They could have sent them to Motel 6. We don't know. And it's just like, but the only time we see any movement is when someone who we're told is a dictator comes to town. So we need more dictators. Dictators. And it's funny. Going from Beijing to LAX is like going from the Jetsons to the Flintstones. Our country is extremely behind. Who has more high-speed rail? The U.S. or Africa? Get your buzzers in. Anybody? Africa. We have all these misconceptions of these melanated countries being backwards. We are the backwards ones. We are the thieves, and they are standing up to us. And we need to stand up to our government too, because it's not really Americans that are standing up to us. The same government that's fucking over American citizens. And it's the same government that she is desiring to be in charge of and take us even further into tyranny. She wants no accountability for any of her donors. And this is what I want. All the military, because I know a lot of people join the military. They probably think they're making the world a better place. I know there's some psychos in there. They just want to kill people for money. That exists, sadly enough. So they got a ridiculously high rape rate. So there's some people with just like some just severe mental, not disabilities, because it's not like they would be disabled. It's like they've got well adjusted to a very fucked up system, and then they may have had proclivities to do some evil shit, and then they just got into the wrong circle, which is our military, and they're just like, come on, go over there, kill that brown person. Come on, we've been telling you brown people are bad your whole life. You want to kill a few, and then they get their rocks off killing people, normalize it, and then so a lot of them get jobs as mercenaries after the military and whatnot. There are these people who exist, but I choose to believe it's not all that. I want to believe it's mostly not that. Most of my family is in the military, and I've seen them make some changes when they join. Like, man, I've seen them just say some crazy shit after coming back from overseas, and it's just like it just makes me wonder. I don't want to get too deep into that because I feel like if I found out some crazy shit, I might look at them differently. But that's another story. Um, but I do think there are good people who join the military. They're the ones who get the moral injury after they realize what the government made them do. They thought they were playing a video game, realized they were drone bombing children. It's like, then they have moral injury, commit suicide. That's why we got these high ass suicide rates. Um, but yeah, for those people before you like decide to kiss that bullet, I would encourage you just try to learn uh, from the lesson I was trying to teach when I was building that platform for soldiers to have their free speech this weekend. Um, yeah, you need to fight for the ability for everyone to have a say. You know, I would say a platform where it's like you could hear like Joe Schmo, nobody, like able to reach levels of Nikki Haley, who's just funded by money. I think if we had a true society, like actual democracy and freedom of speech, where you know your reach was only as far as like you can get naturally without like giant corporations propping you up, like like the Rachel Maddow effect. Someone who has no talent just saying insane shit, but they become a household name because you got like giant corporations like MSNBC, Microsoft, MSNBC, NBC, um, funding us to have to hear them. And then like if you say anything ill of them, um, then you get deplatformed. Right? If we had an actual platform like YouTube used to be before it got bought up by Google, had an algorithm that favored engagement instead of corporate corruption, I think we would see a totally different world. We'd be having totally different conversations. Instead, this trick ass corporate cunt um, country music singer uh, is uh, um, selling our freedoms out to the highest bidder. No scruples, no principles. Right? She feigns outrage and pretends to care about stuff so she can steal your freedom, steal your rights. Um, and we need to look at what France is doing. They're going into um, Black Rock with pitchforks and torches all around Africa. They're uprising. They're kicking our government out, as well as France and other colonial governments kicking them out of their embassies, running into corporations, extracting their resources. They're making them afraid of the people, and that's what we need to do. And it's just like I know I say this, um, the goal for the people in charge of shit is to use the military to go against their own people. You know, they're very good at uh, the apex parasites are very good at getting victims of their theft to do their crimes for them. So don't do their crimes. They're gonna ask you to do some crazy shit. They're probably already doing it, and you see the robot dogs, and they're probably using that as a way to coerce you into doing something like we'll replace you with robot dogs, flamethrowers. You don't do it. But yeah, the reason you should be joining any military is to make the world better, not kill a bunch of people and displace them and steal their land. So if you really want to make the world better, our enemy is not foreign, regardless of what this disgrace of a human being has to say. our we make the world better uh, by learning from each other. And there's a lot of people being silenced. She's all about that life, and her voice gets platformed because she is vile. She is a disgusting person, and just about. I mean, it's not singling her out on this fact. It's just about everybody um, who is a household name is pretty disgusting. You know, like, or they say disgusting things. I don't know if they believe it, but they read the script, and yeah, your purpose should be to rewrite this whole damn thing and bring us into a golden era. And I'm sorry I'm ignoring all the comments. Yo, yourself. What? Try BitChute. Have many videos saved. They delete it from all platforms. I used to, yeah, I got a BitChute already. I haven't been diligent on uploading. I've been upload my new content to Rumble first, but I do have a BitChute. Maybe I should be going there to see if there's some stuff that I don't have saved on my hard drive right now. Truth, indubitably. 1871 amended version of the Constitution of the United States. U.S. is a private corporation. The United States was formed in 1871, which controls only the District of Columbia and the territories it purchases. Well, yeah. I mean, I could believe we are a corporation. I know the City of London is a corporation, and I know we are our government is run by corporate bitches. They do the bidding of the corporations, the CIA, corporate, invisible army. Not really so invisible. A lot of people waking up to what they've been doing. But, you know, like they do all this shady shit in the dark. We don't find out about it until a few years later. And nothing gets done. Like, no one goes to jail. Matter of fact, they only lock up the snitches. You know, like the Chelsea Mannings, the Edward Snowdens. Um, they lock up the good guys, and then they say, "Oh yeah, that was like decades ago when we were doing that." You think we still doing Operation Mockingbird? Nah. MK Ultra, what? No, we don't do that shit. That was so long ago. We had to get rid of the bad people. That's why we got rid of Edward Snowden. He was like working for another company, third party company, but he had access to all this information, and he was making shit worse. He was the bad guy. We got rid of him. Now we got all nothing but good guys. And then a few years later, you find out, oh, when they were saying they were doing good, they were lying to us again, right? And then no one goes to jail. And then their whole point is just to lie to so many people that a good amount of them just go, well, they must be doing good. Why would they just lie so blatantly? We caught them doing all this bad shit, and they said that they're doing better. Why would they lie? It's like, yeah, because their whole purpose is to lie to you. U.S. is a private for-profit corporation. Anything to profit their holders. Yeah, and it's just war is very profitable for some people financially. I mean, yes, it's like you're making all this worthless paper with slave traders on it, more money than you could ever spend, and it's just like as you continue to bomb, kill, maim, like you make the world worse. You're poisoning your own water, your own air. Your food is becoming unedible, and your money is becoming more worthless. So I don't know what their whole purpose is to like make it so that they have $1 trillion, but the dollar's value has diminished so greatly where like it's like $1 billion for a loaf of bread. It's like 100 million for a pair of socks. It's just like I don't think that they. I mean, I don't think that they think about all that shit really, because we talk about like that really big money. We talking about people who have no connection with reality when it comes to money. Because if you think you need $100 million, let alone $100 billion, you're a broken person. Like if you were hoarding any other resource, you'd be on a television show like, why, bitch, why do you got 100,000 cats? You will never be able to pet all those cats. Why do you need a million hamsters? How's your life benefited by having this many hamsters? You know, just hoard anything else. It'd just be like ridiculous. Like, God damn, what is wrong with you? But you hoard this paper that you can never spend. Never spend. Like $10 million is 500,000 in interest alone every year. Most people would kill for that money, like working. Like they work their ass off for that kind of money. Um, yeah, we get that's the only 10 million. You know, we talking about 100 billionaires. They have most of their employees don't make a fraction of that. You know, and yeah, they you know you walk around with enough money to single handedly wipe out all the world's problems. Hunger, homelessness. If I had 100 billion, every homeless person I see, I'd be giving them a house. Jeff Bezos, he just spent a couple 100 million, like 500 million, buying up single family homes, driving up the prices artificially. Why? Do you not have enough money? Do you not have enough property? What is your goal? You just want to be in possession. Maybe it's just like he's been getting a lot of people just disgusted by him. You know, like people have been fighting for higher wages with Amazon and other companies, having some successes. And when you know people get enough money, they just like, you know what, Jeff, I'm not even. You're disgusting. Why the fuck would I want to fuck with you, right? So what do you need to coerce people to sleep with you? Leverage. So he just like buys up all the housing, so they're struggling, broke, and then it's just like, well, bitch, you wanna like not sleep in the streets? You gonna have to jump in the sack with old Jeffy. I don't know. I don't know his logic. I just know it's fucked up because all of that money he's using to do it is stolen from us. And it's not because he's such a great businessman. He's getting umpteen billion-dollar fucking Pentagon contracts. Just a crooked, just disgusting person. Tax these corps at the local level. Tax the Fed on every bill printed. Well, tax the Fed. The Fed is a private corporation. Federal Reserve started by a bunch of European banking cartel, uh, parasitic vampires. They're not elite. They're apex parasites. Um, so yeah, we I don't want to tax the Fed. The Fed needs to go. We need to, start our own currency. I want to do something. We could work with the BRICS nations. I'm all about joining BRICS. We can get a new currency. Have the physical copy. Get rid of all the slave traders. We have actual heroes. We get some Malcolm X notes. X could be 10, obviously. MLK, JFK. I'm open to suggestions. We can get some um, legendary natives on there. Sitting Bull. I don't know. I'm open. We could have a way more diverse currency. But yeah, we definitely need to just do away with the Federal Reserve. Do away with all corporations. Like I said, my whole thing, I don't think about foreign countries. I think about the evil motherfuckers running this country. Like domestic terrorists that run corporations. They gotta go. They gotta stop robbing us. Right, no more hunger or homelessness overnight. If that's what they wanted. It's shameful. Money is a form of control. Yeah, it's shameful, and it's just like that's why it's just like people calling them elite. It's offensive because if you need that kind of money, you're pathetic. Because it's not like it's just you have a good reason to have it. Because every year their money goes up. So it's not like oh man, I was wiping out world hunger last year. I did wipe out homelessness. I gave away all these free drugs. I switched to I got us away from petrochemical-based medicine. I saw the Rockefellers; they were poisoning us, and the cancer rates were spiking. So I fixed that. You know, no one's doing this. No one stepped in and gave Flint clean water, or many of the other states and nations with dirty water. No one stepped in like I'm gonna do that, even though it would benefit them personally greatly. Because when the water around us is poisoned with forever chemicals, I mean, you don't think it's gonna rain, like vaporize some of that stuff and rain the chemicals into you? You know, it would benefit all these people greatly to do it. No one does it. They're short-sighted, stupid. That's why I say, if all is feasible when on your P's and Q's, and these war criminals want killer sprees and coups, and then they beseech the news to deceive the fools, now fewer people still believe it's true. What are good folks like you and me to do? It's time to start a new world and then see it through. Jekyll Island. I'm unfamiliar with that. Indeed, abolish it. Is Jekyll Island the new Epstein Island? Because I know they've been still meeting. They still need that. They still need someone to sex traffic uh, impoverished people to some kind of an island where they can't escape. They got no boats, no planes. It's like land. What is it? I was about to say Angel Island. Right by Angel Island was the prison. The prison was. I mean, Angel Island. It was kind of a prison for immigrants. Uh, why has it eluded me? Um, Secret gathering at a secluded island off the coast of Georgia in 1910 laid the foundation for the Federal Reserve System. Well, I mean, I don't know about where the secret meeting. I know Woodrow Wilson was a bitch to the European banking cartels. Um, he was not a very smart person. Easy to manipulate, control. He was like the president of Princeton before he was the president of the United States. They saw they had someone malleable, willing to listen. Um, then we had yeah, the Federal Reserve enacted the IRS, but they were able to manually deduct money from all of our checks, steal it, and give it to the criminals who control our government. And where do they end up hiding it? Tax havens are everywhere. I mean, but you know the big ones, um, like the big corporations, their tax havens are in Europe. So like Apple, Facebook, all of the big welfare queens, because Apple and Facebook, they get billions of dollars in government subsidies, and they choose to hide a bunch of those subsidies over in Ireland. Uh, and then I'm sure a lot of them they diversified. They were getting some money advice from Jeffrey Epstein. They're like, yeah, he's my money guy. He's my money guy. He's like, I give him money. He throws parties for me. We go to the island, and yeah, it gets lit, litty lit. Yeah. Called the meeting at Jekyll Island. Well, I have to look into that. Yeah, something worthy of investigation sounds like. Yeah, but yeah, I you know, this I guess Mr. Hyde was the animal. So Nikki Haley is Mr. Hyde. Not speculating on her pronouns, but then again, she's so unscrupulous. I wouldn't believe her whatever she said her pronouns were. I just gotta uh just go with what feels right. It's wild they planned this. Yes, they conspired. And then they made the term conspiracy theory the shit that someone with a tinfoil hat would say. It's like, oh, you're crazy. You think You think rich, powerful people are conspiring to create a system that makes them richer and screws you over? Wow. Wow. That is nuts. You're crazy for that. Why would they do that? They're already rich. You think they want to take more of your money just because, like, they have appetite for cash that can't be satiated because they're broken people? Next thing you're gonna be saying, they go to like some island to party with sex trafficked children. That is, you're crazy. So yeah, it is. They have a lot of mechanisms to make you just to gaslight you and make you believe like not believe your own lying eyes. But yeah, I take solace in the fact a lot of people are waking up to it. So it's like a lot of stuff I say rub people the wrong way like a few years ago. Now it's just like commonly accepted. It's just like, yeah, obviously. Yeah. Um and some people they just, the ones who are really vehemently against what I was saying, they some of them came back years later, hat in hand, like how did you know? Or maybe not just saying how did you know, but they were just like, well, it just seems like this, and then like they started questioning, like I already start to suspect that was bullshit now, but I don't, and then people have asked for book recommendations and shit like that, but yeah, yeah, I think the vast majority of people are waking up. It is a process. It is like we gotta step into our power, understand what our power is, and that is in coming together. We weren't taught civics in class. The mechanisms of the government were purposely obscured from us, so we have no way of fighting back. Except for the kind of way where the police shut you down. But um, the goal is for us to figure this shit out together, and that's why we have to stand for building a platform for everybody to speak. Certain voices they will try to confuse us. Because we're talking about big money. CIA, their whole purpose is shutting down um, any movement that can test their power. That's why we gotta shut them the fuck down. One of the things, I mean, it's several books I read on CIA. Is they are horrible. One of them was like a history of ashes. It goes into all their plans, this money they spent trillions of dollars on at this point, and this shit just went wrong. Went the exact opposite way of what they were expecting, right? Um, but one thing they are good at, they have a fuckload of money. They have access to all of our money because, like I said, the Federal Reserve is a private corporation. They work with the CIA to make sure everyone who all the most evil characters in this little twisted game they set up, they get all the money they need to play their part. So it was a book. I think it was Operation Phoenix, and their key to success for overthrowing governments is taking all this money they have, this ill-gotten lucre, and then they fund parallel governments that exist alongside with the governments that they're overthrowing, right? Then they start like funding the corruption of local players to go along with the parallel government. Um, Sorry about the disconnection, but yeah, CIA they fund the corrupt people to work with the parallel governments that they set up. Um, and then when everybody is in position, they have this coup. It could start something that seems harmless, and then all of a sudden, it escalates. That's why they always foreshadow what they're going to be doing. So, you're paying attention to Ukraine. They were foreshadowing. It's always like, oh, they got terrorists over here. These people they don't value democracy. They got their keywords. People have picked up on it. It's like all kinds of memes. Beware when the U.S. says they're bringing democracy to you, because we haven't figured out democracy. You know, when your two choices are Donald Trump and Joe Biden, it's like a racist ass, criminal family run, degenerate, and Donald Trump, who's basically the same, but he didn't do the 1994 crime bill. So I guess people make the argument Donald Trump's a little better, but I can't vote for the top two evil. I don't do the Republicrats. That's just not something I do. But yeah, I'm heartened to see a lot of people. It's like this whole movement, abandon Joe, abandon Joe. I was trying to start a movement back in 2016. No Republicrats, period. let's never pick up Joe. You know, step away from all that shit. Build something parallel to it. You know, we need our own parallel system of governance outside of what's been created for us, which is really just to destroy us. Hi, hello. They just want to keep that talk quiet. They spend billions keeping it from you, keeping it from going viral. So much is done or spun to keep us all from talking and acting together. I do love seeing so many with open eyes now. Yes, and just gonna keep opening those eyes. Best part of waking up is a revolution in my cup. Yeah, they steal our damn money. Yes. Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. We should not have any billionaire. Show me a billionaire who sold like a billion hamburgers, who actually worked to make it. And yeah, you won't, because that's not a thing that someone does. I can show you a lot of billionaires who rip the government off, get government contracts they didn't deserve, rob us, do evil shit. But yeah, it's just the way of the world. We live in a country that was built on not paying taxes. Now we got to pay taxes. I mean, yes, there was definitely some upheaval. No taxation without representation. They dressed up like natives because they were like, oh, the natives had it figured out. Fuck England. Fuck these aristocratic fucknobs who rob us and just like, you know, they think they're better than us. They like commit mass murder, theft, and they, in their minds, they are the moral superior. They're better than you because they rob you efficiently, and then they get other poor people to establish dominance over you, and then they create systems of just like oppression and just keeping people like they're in charge of our education from K through 12 and beyond, right? That's why they make that shit mandatory. The school system isn't there to teach you what's needed. It's teaching you to go through life and get cheated, to quote the Boots Riley from The Coup. But yeah, yeah, and then like after that, like you check out of school, they still got the media. They own everything. You know, you switch to social media thinking you get independent points of view. They shut all that shit down. That's been going on for about a decade, over a decade at this point. I was affected like my first channel taken down 2014. 10-year anniversary coming up. Still no justice. Matter of fact, they're getting worse. Because once they realize they can get away with it with me, really me, because I wasn't even the first. Atlantic Council was one of the major reasons why I got shut down. First people they went after were the Palestinians, who were exposing IDF war crimes. Like, you know, the shit that they just kill people, murder a baby or two, and if someone filmed that with their camera phone, posted it online, yeah, that shit was taken down by the Atlantic Council. Because they wanted to avoid having what we're seeing right now, which is people outraged at what Israel is doing, like calling the Israeli government evil, because they are. It's not because I'm anti-Semitic. I'm saying that I hate my government more. Because it's just evil governments. I don't trust any settler colonial government. Never. I think that's a Belle Biv DeVoe quote. Never trust a settler colonial government with a smile. Them motherfuckers poison. They will poison you. Poison your water. Poison your air. Um, but yeah, and it's just in Israel. Figure they try to learn from the mistakes of the United States. Like because people saw genocide taking place on the natives, they were like, "Oh my God, you're disgusting." What? And then we have like this whole, yeah, we killed a bunch of them, but we put the rest of them on reservations, and we gave them school. We put them in these schools to civilize them, take them away from their history. Um, we realize it's bad, and that's why we have land acknowledgments. We acknowledge we stole this land from those people. Yay, right? Um, Israel, they're learning from our mistakes, because first and foremost, like them going to Palestine, that was they deserved it because of what those Europeans did to them. Like Europeans were killing other Europeans, and the solution to that was kill a bunch of brown people and give that land to European settlers, because they said that they were there much longer, a long time ago. We're not going to be giving any land in California to any Mexicans, but so that logic, it really doesn't make sense, because the Mexicans, that was their land, native land, But they got all these politicians talking about clamp down the border, who is basically who they said the Israelis are. People who lived there a long time ago, coming back to where their ancestors came from. But of course, the Israeli settlers were not from that land. The people from that land have a lot of melanin, because that's what the land provides you with: heat, melanated skin tones. There were some people who went to the Caucasus Mountains during an ice age. They lost a bunch of melanin. Maybe a few 100,000 years ago, they were in a darker climate because it was hotter. Who knows? Let's not speculate. I just know the European powers saw an opportunity, because the Balfour Declaration was signed in 1917. That was when they agreed to give the Palestinian land to European Jews. Then Hitler rose to power, funded by the British, where they signed that Britain is where they signed the Balfour Declaration, and American business. So it just seems like they were trying to create this narrative so they can like steal this land without the guff that the Americans were getting. And first Nakba was like 1948, around the time they established Israel as a state. And yeah, and then a bunch of South African apartheid folks, like people who were benefiting from apartheid, the Boers, they ended up converting to Judaism and moving to Israel. They thought that they can lock down the Middle East with apartheid, keep an order that they will like, just mow the lawn every now and again. People won't notice. But then they just start realizing all these people in one small area, so many of their loved ones had been killed, dismembered by this evil colonizing force, and then they had no prospect of getting out. There was no, there's a lot of people there in the Gaza Strip never left, never knew of a world outside of that, and so yeah, they eventually A few of them eventually just got so fed up they decided to do something. It's like Nat Turner when he just like went on that rampage. He was killing men, women, and children just because they were white, which I think is disgusting. However, yeah, he was enslaved his whole life. Probably saw countless people. Probably saw more people than he could ever kill being killed that he cared about. Um, so it's just like I wouldn't want to put myself in his shoes because it's just like I would never want to do what he did, but I would also never want to experience what he experienced. Um, um, and now it's just we're seeing the mowing the lawn, the new Nakba is what a lot of Israeli officials are calling it. But yeah, it seems like they're trying to just steal the land, and then they're just gonna mow everyone down, and then they're gonna have land acknowledgments like, yes, we killed these these good Palestinian warriors who fought. We murdered them, stole their land, and now we feel bad about it, but we're gonna keep the land. Um, yeah, but we need to bring justice to that whole situation. Lock up all the war criminals. You can start with Benjamin Netanyahu. Once he's in custody, have him roll over on all his people who he coordinated that evil shit with. Because yes, justice needs to spring forward. And from the river to the sea, they all need to be free. Okay, YouTube and IG. Just dropping by to show support and love, and I appreciate that. All U.S. presidents are relatives as well. I saw like a video they were trying to make that connection, and it was interesting the one between Barack Obama and George Bush, because they were saying that George or Barack Obama's stepdad was um, a war criminal. Uh, but yeah, it's wasn't able to validate all they said, but I found it interesting nonetheless. The more knowledgeable we get, the more we come to understand what's been kept from us. Yes, yes. And I'm sorry to keep this video from y'all, and I appreciate y'all showing up. I occasionally drop by to show support and love, and thank you for doing that. And I'll try to be better this time next week, or I mean this time Saturday next week. That's the normal time, but I did have to. It was a busy weekend. On top of the work, I also just had to like leave the house for a minute for this something going on with where the house is occupied by a bunch of strangers. So that's always fun. So it's just been a little unpredictable. But next Saturday, and I'll probably do a bonus live throughout the week because I'll be finishing up with this semester in school, and I'll have a little more free time. So, oh, and I'm also gonna be working on like I got some other videos already written. I'll be shooting them this week as well. So be on the look for that. It's gonna be on NatesVlogs.net, which is right now it's being directed to um, my Rumble. However, I'm I paid for a web service. I got to set it up again because the people I was using before, it was not a good interaction, good exchange. So I got like another website builder, web host, and I got to rebuild everything. Maybe do it better this time. I was meaning to add more designs to my clothing shop, so yeah, just be on the lookout for that. Got a lot of flair with the style of gear. Um, so yeah, you want pizzazz with the shit you wear? It'll be over on NatesVlogs.net, and that new shop is gonna be updated soon. So I still got to figure out how to navigate this web service. So I'll be doing that, and I appreciate you guys bearing with me. Remember, continue to fight the power and be good to each other unless someone is a fascist or accosting your free speech or, just trying to make your country a shithole. Any corporation, they're not real persons. Just do what you got to do. They got to go. Love y'all. Peace. Of course, that's true. That's old Nate. Yes. I don't know what you're referencing, but yes, of course. The good fight ain't gonna fight itself. Absolutely. And toodles. What the hell? Ended.